As a new agent, it's sometimes hard to find listings or it's hard to find open house opportunities when you don't have any listings. So, what I did was I created a process that you can follow so that you can reach out to dominant agents in your marketplace and help them open houses. And you can do it in a way that's going to make you look ultra professional. To find an open house, right? Now, laws aside, I don't know what all the individual laws are in every city and country and county and all that stuff. So you guys have to figure that out. But what I would do is step one is agents have to know who you are. So when there's broker tours, go to the broker's open, take a notepad, be friendly, read about the home. If there's a problem with the listing, like pull the agent aside and be like, hey, I saw there was something in the listing that might not make it populate for as many buyers that are searching. Like it only shows 2 bedrooms, but it's actually a 4-bedroom, right? So do the homework before you show up. Then show up to the listing during broker tour, or if they're doing an open house on a Saturday, show up, say hello. Hey, what are you doing out here? I just saw you were doing an open house. I wanted to come. Hey, I wanted to meet you. I wanted to support you, right? To show like, hey, there's more traffic and activity. And then you get to know the agent. Once the agent has a relationship with you, which is the first time you meet them, and you show that you're proactive, you're intelligent, you're not a jerk, right? Because a lot of agents go to open houses and they're just like super jerky, mind boggled. Now you have a relationship with them. Step 2, we have to create our process. So when we do an open house, we have a process. The process is simple. We turn on all the lights, we align if there's a faucet, we want it all lined up pretty. We wipe everything down. If we take stuff off the counters to open up the space, we put it back on. So you take a picture of the kitchen and then you just clean it all up, right? So you should have like in your car a cleaning kit. It could even be a vacuum cleaner, mops, Swippers, window cleaner, counter cleaner. I've scrubbed dirty, nasty toilet. Gorgeous home, $800,000 homes. And I'm like, your kids are disgusting. What do you feed these people? Scrub the shit out of them. We've picked up dog shit. We've scrubbed windows. We've changed light bulbs, right? All of that stuff. So you all want to get there a little bit early because if you do need to spruce it up, I put lines in the carpets, right? My grandma lived on a farm. Doesn't matter what day of the time you came in, always had lines in the big furry carpet that they had from the 1970s. People walk in, if they feel clean, they think the home's well maintained. It's all psychology, right? So you have a checklist of what we're going to do. Turn on the lights, close the toilet, line everything up, like pull the bed sheets, like you're walking into a Ritz-Carlton, the beds have to be made. Even if it's the worst bedding, it still has to be fresh. We, in our really expensive homes, we had steamers and we would steam the beds for our listing show. Like we would steam the sheets. If there's cobwebs, anything that anything that's going to make the seller or the buyer that walks into that property would think the home isn't that. But if we're not cleaners, yes, the sellers come to open houses to see what the property looks like. If you are the one that puts in the extra work, bring deodorant because you might get sweaty. Like I bring deodorant because I don't want to stink. I don't put a ton of perfume or cologne on because again, I don't want anybody that's sensitive to smells. I'm very sensitive to smells to be sensitive. It's sensitive and want to stay away from it. If you open windows, you turn on fans, whatever you turn on, you turn off, right? So you have to mentally remember everything you do, which just means take a picture of the room and then put it back together. And the seller's like, did you clean my house? It looks exactly the same, but like it feels, we just touch it up a little. Oh, wow, thank you. If it's your listing, guess what they do the next? You set the stage and the precedent for them. But let's say it's somebody else's listing. They're going to call that agent. They're going to be like, Mariana was freaking awesome. Like the house is spotless. Holy crap. Your team is amazing. She gets the praise or he gets the praise. Guess who gets the call when they get an open house from there on out? You do. Number 3, you have your checklist or your iPad or whatever. I use the app Open House Pro. It's like, I don't know, I think we paid $14 for the whole whatever for it. If anybody gives you a bunch of snuff about signing in, oh yeah, what we actually have a bunch of information about the property that we couldn't put online and a bunch of extra things. We're going to send it to you after the open house. Would that be beneficial just to like, because I know you might be looking at 5 or 6 different properties. So we just have a little bit of extra information if they give you a big answer. If they're assholes, just don't sign them in. It's okay. Like if they're like super aggressive and they're not, like, it's cool, but it's kind of like the Apple store. So, hey, hey, welcome, man. I was curious, did you guys find us online or did you guys find us online or did you guys find us through the sign? Oh, we saw you through the signs. Oh yeah. Hey, and the sellers, like, they don't like shoes. So could you either take your shoes off or put the booties on? How to interrupt them from bulldozing, right? How to interrupt them from bulldozing, because now they have to stop at the door because nobody's going to be like, well, no, we're not going to do that. Like, oh, well, nobody else does that. Yeah, they just don't like all the bacteria from they got young kids that are crawling around the floor. So they just like to keep it really clean. Like, you can either take them off or put the booties on. It stops them. Now they're stopped. And like, hey, just like the Apple store, I just have to get a little bit of quick information, just check you in real quick, name, email, phone number. Don't ask them if they have them either. That's not important. Don't ask them if they're pre-approved. That's a ridiculous question. They don't even know what that means. And that's a super salary question. Just, I just need to kind of basic information where the sellers like to know who's ruffling through their underwear drawers. Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, what's your name? Susan Smith. Okay, great. And Susan, what's your email address? Don't look at them. You're just looking down because you expect them. Susan, what's your email address? At the end of the open house, you call the agent up. You're like, hey, I'm leading the open house. I just wanted to let you know, so if the sellers are waiting like around the corner, they're good. I closed all the lights. I locked all the windows. I double checked everything. We had 16 parties show up. We had 3 agents. Do you want me to give you the agent's names now or just send you an email when we're done? Oh, don't send it an email if you don't mind. No, not at all. Like, thank you so much for letting me do this. I really appreciate you. I'll send you those. So you go home and send those. And I'm also going to call all the buyers that came through just to see if anybody's interested. And if anybody is interested in this property, I will let you know that we're going to possibly go see it again or work on an offer. But would that be helpful? Oh my God, that's so great. Thank you so much. God, nobody's ever been like this. Oh my God, really? I'm sorry. Super, super playfully dumb. Oh my God, really? Like a little skeptical. I thought this was just the normal. Oh no. Oh, well, I really enjoyed doing the open house. You've done an amazing job with this listing. If you ever need any other listings held open, or if you know any other agents in the office that don't want to do an open house, I'm available like every weekend to do a couple open houses. Would you be opposed to sharing my information with other people? They're like, oh my God, no, not at all. There's so many listings in our office that people never hold open and they're just sitting there with nothing to do. Like, we would love to have an open. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you could just shoot maybe like a text, like if that's easier, and like between the other agent and me, and do them now, they have trust in you. We've shown a process. They're going to get a call from the seller in about 47 seconds that tells them how awesome the house was and how it's like feels different. It feels clean. I didn't know about essential oils back in the day. Now I have a diffuser going, but if you put it like a peppermint, like you can bring like a little bit of oil on like a spray bottle and you can spray like some eucalyptus because it's like very spa-ish. And you can spray eucalyptus around the whole house just to give like a fresh scent. And it gives like a cleansing scent. Open the windows, open the blinds, let the natural light in. I don't mask homes. Like if there's freeway noise, I'm not going to put on music unless there's built-in speakers. But if I am, it's very low. Yeah. I'm not trying to mask anything because if I do bring a buyer and we get through the inspection process and we're sitting in an inspection and a big truck goes by, oh, we didn't hear that last week in the open house. And they're going to be like, whoa, well, Mariana, you really covered that up well. You're kind of shady. And now you lose credibility and trust. So I didn't do the whole baking of cookies and all that bullshit, but we did sometimes we would bring in water bottles. We had our brochures. If you don't have brochures, you just get a pamphlet with your information. Buy nice paper, right? Buy nice paper, invest into, because this is your brands, right? Like we want to have a luxury brand. We want people luxury is not a price point. Luxury is how you make people feel that they leave your presence.
Right.
And then when people come in, just, hey, Like, no, so when you saw the home online, like, what was it about the home? Like, what was the specific thing that you're like, oh my God, honey, we have to see this home? Oh, it was we really love oh, yeah, the kitchen's amazing. What was it about the kitchen though that you guys really loved? Oh, we love the openness because we love to entertain and we want to be able to watch the kiddos and see the backyard. Oh, okay. Now you know exactly their hot point.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go when we talk about the kitchen and we can really expand on the ocean with them.
Yeah.
And now you got an agent who's going to refer you their listings for life. And agents hate doing open houses, just so you know. Hate doing open houses.
I don't mind it.
I know, because you're not stupid.
I kind of like it, to be honest.
Why do you like it?
Because I like to see the people, like the interaction with people, like face to face. I like that better than just like picking up the phone.
Well, if you never pick up the phone, if you hate picking up the phone, it's because you haven't had enough of those interactions.
Right. It's not that I hate. I just feel like when you have a person in front of you and they are seeing you instead of just being a voice, it's more like there's a higher trust in there because they are seeing you. What I meant
to say is when you do open houses, you have more confidence in using them.
Yeah.
Because when you start having real life interactions with the buyer and the seller, now you're like, oh, I understand what they're thinking about. Oh, I understand their feelings. I understand their emotions. And then when you pick up the phone and you're actually talking to people, it's just like a natural conversation because you understand them. The other thing is when you do open houses, like if you do, I can name at least 100 agents, maybe not 100, probably about 75 or so agents, never spent $1 in marketing. All they focused on was open houses and knocking in the neighborhood before and after their open houses. That's all they did. And then they just called those people and they try to stay in geographic area with their open houses. And they're doing $50-60 million a year. It took a couple of years to get really rooted in, but now it's like people will call. So my buddy Mike, 68-year-old dude, starting real estate at about 60. And I'm like, bro, jump on the team. I was like, we'll teach you. He's like, big, I don't want leads. Like, bro, you're brand new. Like, come on. And I know you're successful in your previous life, but spending $20,000 a month on Zillow. Nah, big, I don't want your leads. What are you going to do, man? I don't see any open houses. What are you going to say? It's like, Nick, I don't need the money. I do it like I need money, but I don't need like a ton of money. Like I don't have an expensive lifestyle. I was like, so what are you gonna say? He's like, I'm just gonna say, what's up? Do you like me? I'm like, really? That's it? I'm like, what? Like, so what's your check-in process? Like, that shit, bro. That's your job. Like, you're the one who wants to build this huge team. You're the one who wants leads. You're the one who wants to do all this stuff. You're the one who wants all like my deal. I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna do 6 to 8 open houses a week. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. It's like, why? You spend 16 to 18 hours a week prospecting. I'm just going to flip it and be in front of people because I hate calling people that I don't know. He's like, you love calling people that you don't know. He's like, that's your Cutco world you grew up in. Awesome, brother. I love you. I support you. I'll show up to your open houses. I'll bring you a cup of coffee, but I ain't calling nobody I don't know. It's like, all right. First year, he did 18 transactions. Second year, he did 36 transactions. Fourth year, he did 45. He's like, I could do more. Like, he's like, I could listen to you and learn what you guys do and show up to your role play calls at 7:00 in the morning. I could do more business. He's like, but dude, 18 transactions my first year. I'm good, bro. He called me up out of the blue last week. He's going to do somewhere north of 65 million this year.
Wow.
Still hasn't spent $1 on open houses. And I'm like, so where do you get all the open? He's like, agents call me because they know that they're not going to do them and their clients want open houses. He's like, the one thing I did learn from you was how to have the process to follow up so that people are like, the agents are like, oh, he's got the system. He's like, I would have figured it out eventually. He's like, but that's the one thing you taught me. And I'm like, fucking awesome, bro. $16 million. So yeah, we're like 1.4, 1.6 million. Took him 8 years to get there, but along the way, he made hundreds of thousands of dollars and never spent $1.
Interesting.
So you develop this open house, you get really good at just having conversation, just that opening conversation. Oh, like, what brought you in? Like, how'd you find this? Was it online or through the science? The science. Oh, thank God. Like, those signs are a beast to put out. It took me like 30 minutes. Like, God, like, don't you, thank God I do CrossFit, right? So you have a little bit of playfulness with them. Like, but see, you laugh, I laugh. And you're like, so what was it about, like, other than my beautiful signs, which, I lamented over for at least 16 minutes. Like, what are you guys looking for in a property? Like, why do you guys come in? Because if they come in off the signs, we have to figure out what brought them in. And then they're going to tell you, it's like, oh, why is that important to you? And then you're off to the races.
Yeah.
So because of that, the other way you find open houses, all agents that have listings.
Yeah.
Just make it part of your prospecting. Was that it's getting someone over your agent, but you're letting them know that you're willing to do an open house. So like a quick script would be like, ring, ring. Hey, Terry. Like Terry is an agent that gave me a lot of open houses in the very, very high end price point. That's what helped me break into a much higher price point for me personally. Because she liked the way I did open houses. And she was listing like, these houses could be like 8 to 12 million now. They're 2 to 4 back in the day when we were doing open houses for her. And so I would just call them up, ring, be like, hey, this is Terry. I'm like, hey, Terry, it's Vikram. I came to a couple of your open houses. I don't think you remember me. She's like, oh, no, I did. But she was a badass. That's why she was crushing it. And I'd be like, hey, I know this might be weird, but I really love doing open houses. And I was just wondering, I see we have like 3,800 listings right now. Is there one that we need an open house done for that your team's not doing? She's like, oh, no, let me find out. I'll have somebody get back to you. First week, no. Second week, no. Kept going to the brokers opens, kept going to the open houses. And because she had a lot of listings and she had a very good open house, like that was their thing. They always did open houses. I would make sure to try to hit as many open houses with her team as possible. So you call agents with lots of listings, then you just call agents that have listings that aren't selling. And we don't need a lot of people in an open house. We just need one.
Yeah.
And you treat the open house the same, 11 to 1, 2 to 4. If you can stay in the same geographic neighborhoods, all you have to do is like flip the sign around. That's even better. Yeah. But if you have to travel farther, like 20 or 30 minutes, then that gives you hopefully enough time to, because somebody's always going to show up at like 1 o'clock. So,
right.
As they're walking through, you're cleaning up, you grab your signs, flip to the next house, get that whole thing set up. Hopefully the home's not too bad and you can spruce it up and get it all done and make it pretty. And when you're done, all both agents, boom, do your thing, call everybody after your open houses, right? Like follow up with the leads Sunday, not Monday. Because every agent follows up on Monday. You follow up on Sunday, beats them from calling somebody else, and you pick up a ton of business that way.
Yeah.
Helpful?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.